And the proof is back. The proof is almighty. And the proof is ringing, y'all. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Peace Basente and I'm a classical pianist. So I wanted to do this video because I had talked about it in my first one when I got the question about, are you in the performance program? And I said no. I wanted to explain a little bit because it's a little bit tricky, but it's something that I feel that will make you guys understand me a little bit better and where I'm trying to go. So basically, like I said, I have had 3 teachers. And the first one is the one that brought me to classical music, but he's also the one that should have started my education but didn't, because he wasn't really RCM qualified, so a Royal Conservatory of Music teacher. He only could teach me as much as he knew, so it kind of brought me back a couple of years of where I was supposed to be compared to my playing, just because it wasn't equal. So when I got to my second teacher, she's the one that really had to teach me everything that I was missing, and kudos to her, because the patience that she had to have to help me with it must have been insane. But we got through it. So when I was still in high school, I had decided to go into my honors BA specialized in music just because there wasn't an audition, and I felt like I wasn't ready just yet to do my audition. And I was a little bit scared, not gonna lie, just because it was gonna be my first audition. I didn't know how it was gonna be. I was scared of people judging me, and I was scared of just like not making it with my skills. So I decided not to do it. But right before we started our first year, I was like, you know what? I need to overcome this, because the fact that I want to be a musician that wants to perform means that I'm gonna have to do this someday. So I need to put my fears aside. And so me and my second teacher, we decided to start working towards that goal, and we did. But really close to the date of the audition, I realized that the requirements that I read them wrong. And so the pieces that I had were wrong. And so we were stuck in a like dilemma whether I should just stop and not do the audition, or just continue and see how the whole thing is gonna unravel. And so I decided to continue, just because I felt like it was gonna be good experience for me to have, and also just to see how the audition is gonna go, the audition process and stuff like that. So when I went to my first audition, I already knew I wasn't gonna get in. So I really didn't have like high hopes for myself. But then on my second year with my third teacher, everything changed. Like I made sure to read those requirements like 3 times, and just to make sure that like everything was on point. But I was also driven by the fact that during my first year, I realized that there's not a lot of minorities that are in the department. It was kind of like I was used to it because I went to like a majority white high school for 6 years. But at the same time, it was very much a disappointment, because I'm just like, there's so many different people in the classical world with different races, different ethnicities, different backgrounds that could bring so much more to the classical world. I just feel like it was such a shame that there wasn't like people that could represent like each category in the classical world. I was really paying attention to what was going on, like each class. I was also trying to pay attention to like who were the piano students that were in the program during my year and the year above, and sometimes even like third years. And I realized that it was mostly just white people. And so it was kind of like very scary for me, because I'm like, wow, how much do I need to battle? How much do I need to put in order for me to get it? When I started my second year and I was getting ready to start the process again to audition, I wanted to make sure to get in, so I went like above and beyond with this one. Like the requirements were like level 9 in a romantic, a piece of your choice in another category, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to like 10 and even further a little bit. So the pieces that we took were hard. Like they were technically very hard, and we were just like, we have to polish it and make it like clean, clean, clean. And I worked so hard. I remember during my second semester, second year, I had went to my dad and asked him, can I just take a week off of school? I emailed all of my prof already, and they said that they were okay with it. I just want to stay home and practice. So I literally did a week home practicing all day because I didn't even want to waste time of like having to commute to school and then come back. Also, I didn't want to like waste my time in class. I felt like it was better suited to just practice. That's how much like effort I was putting in. That's how much like practice and like of myself I was putting into that audition process. But I still loved it though, because it was something that I wanted to do really badly. And then at the end of my audition, they asked me like, why do you want to be in the program? Like, why do you see yourself in the program? And I told them it's because I see that there's a lack of representation in the department, and I want to be the one that starts the revolution of bringing more people in and having to show, like, being able to show them like just because you're a minority doesn't mean that you can't make it and that you can't do it. So I was like really into it. And also there was like this teacher, he's actually my teacher's teacher, and he's so good. And him and I, we had like a great communication. Like, I don't know if it's just whether he teaches, he like, we connected like really quickly, and it ended up having us having a great class together. And I was really excited to be like under his tutelage for my transfer. I didn't get in. Got my answer. I was really disappointed. And then a couple of like weeks later, I got what's it called, an email from one of my profs, and this was after like the George Floyd case happened, and he had asked me like, how do you feel being in the music department as a minority? And I was like, this is my time to shine. So I had told him everything, and I told him how I feel that the department lacks representation. The department lacks, I feel uh, uh, like a moving forward, like a step closer to the future type of mindset, because we're called the music department. We are called the music school, but in reality, we only are doing the curriculum of Western European classical music, but we're not touching anything else. We're not touching like other composers that are of color. You know what I mean? There are so many. You know, like if you're doing research, like, and sometimes it doesn't have to be deep. You can find so many. And other genres too. Like, you don't see jazz, we don't see blues. There's so many other types of music that there is we don't see just because we're in that one section, right? So I told him that, and I felt like also it's so hard to get in as a minority. So I really thought that I was going to be able to get in this year. I really thought, but that's not the case. So what now? You know, that was my biggest question too. But now that I have gone through that process and I've done it correctly, I've given everything, and I literally have no regret for that performance, not even the mistake. I do not have a regret of it. I think what I'm doing is giving myself the opportunity to do what I want to do. They don't allow me at the table, that's fine. I will build my own table if I have to, from scratch if I have to. And I will bring myself up. I want to be the one that breaks the ceiling glass, that changes, that does a revolution, because this cannot be the type of message that we're giving to other people. There are so many talented composers, artists, musicians that want to go into the program, but that cannot because that they're minorities and they are overlooked, when in fact they are sometimes even better than the ones that are already in the program. It's such a shame for me to see that I can't even help people that are coming in after me. And I remember that I said that in our meeting in the whole department. I was like, it's sad because I don't have anybody to look up to in this department, because you guys don't really understand what we have to go through in order to get here, like even just get here. It sucks that I don't have anybody to talk to, and it sucks that I can't even help the generation after me. I can't be the pathway at school, but I can't be the pathway like anywhere else. So when I'm building this table, Yes, I'm gonna eat on it for sure, but I want to build it and extend it so that other people can join in, other minorities can join in, and so that they can see that they can do it too, and that they accomplish so much more than they could have ever thought, because it is possible. It's just we have to do it, and this is what I am trying to do. This is like my resolution. I want to be a performer for sure. And I think me being a performer of color is always going to make so much more movements. But I really want to create that flood, because it's important. It's important to see someone like you, that have struggled like you and that made it out and that did great things. So this is my mission. This is what I'm working for. And I am so excited to show you guys this whole process and bring you guys on this journey, because this is what I feel like I was made for, to perform and make controversy just because I'm performing. I'm loving it. I'm excited for it. So thank you guys for listening and kind of listening to me rant. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.